I think we are live. Okay.
Yes, we are.
Okay, well, happy whatever today is.
Labor Day,
Labor Day. Yeah,
Monday,
Labor Day.
September 3rd, 2023. Or is it the
Yes.
4th? What is it? The 3rd? 4th.
Won't be going to Alaska then, I guess.
We'll be going to Alaska. We got Johnny J in the house. We got Hey Joe in the house, and I'm Alan C. Welcome to the Univision FM universe.
Yeah, this
Today
thing's
is
giving
Monday,
me
September
problems.
4th.
It's giving me drift. And it is this. Does it sound like it's echoing to you?
A
No,
little, not bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me plug in my light there.
Well, folks, you're joining us on a wonderful Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It's 7:11
Yep.
a.m. in the Philippines. It's 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and it's 1 a.m. in South Africa. We're going to talk to you today about a few different topics. And before we do that, though, we'll get the sponsors out of the way. Christian Brothers Moving Company, based in the great state of Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, also in Inglewood, Colorado. The Denver Art Foundation, Colorado Art Relief Fund, the Chinook Foundation. And if you want to become a sponsor, because I know I've forgotten one, and I'm really sorry about all that, Richard Damiano, that's who he is. We can't forget vision. Vision matters. Check out Richard Damiano in Littleton, Colorado, running the Littleton Eye Clinic. He's helped Johnny J out a number of times with cornea transplants and things like this. And I hear they do plastic surgery as well. I could use a little bit about that because I'm so ugly, I got to sneak up on a glass of water to take a drink.
sorry.
I thought it was funny.
You walk into it.
I didn't walk right in. I jumped right in with both feet. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you guys think I'm so ugly that I gotta sneak up on a glass of water, it's okay. Leave a comment down below. I won't find it non-respectful or any of that, even if YouTube or wherever you're watching us on might. I'll just laugh maniacally, might add.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we have a few, I guess, topics for today.
Where do you want to start?
Well, let's see. What do I want to start? Let's see. I was listening to the thing since the news likes to twist things around.
Mhm.
I was thinking about, like, I guess they're saying that they're bragging about how they're giving these so-called JC guys or J6 guys all these years to discourage these other extreme groups. And I'm thinking, like, as long as you got Harris out there getting the money and bailing these guys out, why should they be concerned that this group over there is getting a lot of years, but over here, you can practically break in the stores, you can murder, you can do whatever, and you have the vice president and other liberals and movie stars bailing you out.
It's a classic example of rules for thee and not for me.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting because when we have a societal hiccup like we're having right now, some would say even a collapse. I wouldn't go that far. But when we have a little hiccup, those that are backed into a corner will most assuredly fight the hardest. And if their cause is just and if it's right, the Lord will allow for that thing to prevail. If, however, it's not just or right, eventually those folks that do twist the system and make judgments and pursue their own brand of justice, they will be held accountable, if not here, certainly in the hereafter. What do you think, hey Joe?
Well, as far as the J6ers go, I firmly believe that our once 45 to become 47 will have a bunch of pardons going on.
And I think you're probably right there. I do believe, this leads us into a topic as blind people. If anybody is watching, or I should say viewing this on any of the platforms that we are on, Facebook, True Social, Getter, LinkedIn, and Rumble, others, let us know what you think. Are you a Trump supporter? Have you always been a Trump supporter? Are you not so much a Trump supporter, but you like his policies? Or let's hear from you as well if you're not and never have been a Trump supporter. It's interesting because I've always enjoyed his policies, and I've thought, oh, good, another celebrity going to become our president. When I looked at this when Ronald Reagan was president back when I was 9, I was like, I'd never heard of Ronald Reagan. But of course, I'd heard of Donald Trump with the Apprentice and some other of the reality TV shows that he had starred in. And I saw him first, I think, in a cameo for Home Alone, the movie. And he was in there for a brief moment, giving directions to Macaulay Culkin. And, so it was interesting. I was like, oh, good, we're going to have us another celebrity president. And it ended up that when he won the presidency, I really not only started to enjoy his policies, both from the prosperity standpoint, economically, to the security standpoint of our streets were safer, our borders were more secure, as it were. Crime rate was down. And I will tell you, during the lockdowns, things could have gone a certain way, and they didn't. And that was because he was tough on the drugs that came into the country. Those stopped. It was fascinating to watch, and he was somebody that typified a great leader in my mind. What do you guys think?
I thought when he first started playing with running for president, I was like, yeah, I'm on board already. Just seeing his interviews with Oprah Winfrey and stuff like that. I mean, and knowing that he helped take down the mob in New York City with Giuliani.
That's right.
That says multitude about who he is. Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein. Yeah.
That's where Epstein stuff started coming to an end, was Trump.
It's interesting. I was watching some stuff with Obama, dealing with Obama, and some interesting things are coming out about Barack Obama. I encourage folks to dig into that a little bit if you're not aware. I don't want to dig into it really.
Spill the beans on him.
What's that?
His brother is going to spill the beans on him.
I think you're probably right there. I absolutely believe you're right there. And
didn't his brother try that one other time, or was it like a sister or aunt? Was it like a sister or aunt?
Yeah, it was a sister's aunt. I think it was.
Yeah. So hey, we'll see what happens this time.
There are some folks that are coming out of the woodwork against this individual, but what was
on stage.
On stage. Yeah.
He's on stage.
Yeah, he's definitely on stage. I encourage you guys to take an honest look at what's going on. No matter what political party you're from, some do honestly believe, and I believe Trump also believed this, that the birth certificate, things like this, should have been looked into with greater alacrity. There were some interviews, especially namely an interview that Dinesh D'Souza did back in, gosh, was it 2012, I want to say. So look into those things, make your own decisions. I'm not going to lead you anyway down any garden path. But as our President Joe Biden would say about corn pop, Obama's a real bad dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I was just thinking about, it says like whatever is hidden will be revealed.
That's right.
So, it's like, and it's just been like, on one side, these guys, political guys, been getting away with it for a long time. But is it? I wonder if they sign a contract saying, we could do anything, we can mess up, but we don't have to worry because we just sweep it underneath the rug, and the people are such cheap, they won't do nothing about it anyway.
Why do
What do
you
you
think
think
they've
about
been building on Guantanamo Bay? They
Yeah.
added courtrooms and cells and all kinds of stuff.
That's a very
And that's
valid point.
that's for the ones who are not cheap. That's well, it's going to be interesting.
Before Obama or before Trump came in, they were looking at shutting Guantanamo Bay down. And
Yeah.
what Trump expanded it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he did.
And we
it
ain't
is,
done with this place yet.
it is interesting to note that our most popular president ever elected in American history, being Joe Biden, he hasn't shut that down yet. It is interesting to look into that. Do your own research, folks. Don't do it on YouTube. Don't do it on Facebook. Don't do it. But do your
Google.
research. Yeah, don't do it on Google. And it's interesting because once you do delve into this, you're going to have your eyes opened. And even though there are other search engines out there, they do have to use Google as one of the platforms. But, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, get involved at the local, state, federal levels, and do just your own due diligence, because this is something that's important. I'm minded of what the America First movement is all about. And it's more than just a man being Donald Trump. It's a movement. And that movement is you. It's me. It's all of us together, whether we're Republican, whether we're Democrat. Our divisions, which we're being divided into, are not so wide as what we are being led to believe. That's why getting involved at the local level is so important, because when you talk to your friend or your neighbor and you find the commonalities between yourselves or ourselves, whatever, we find the commonalities within ourselves, the differences that we have seem to melt away, and it's an idea with the America First movement that we will not go quietly into that good night. We will not give in without a fight. We are fighting to live. We're fighting to survive. And we want what everybody else wants. And that's just one more day, one more week, one more month, one more year, one more decade. And we want this for our children. We want this for our futures. And we want this collectively. And yes, there are some that believe that there is no purpose. And yes, they do not want us in our own cities, our own neighborhoods. They don't want us on the streets talking this kind of talk. They don't want us in the States. We don't want, they don't want us in the country. They don't want us on the planet even, because that sort of sunlight is anathema to their plan of wanton destruction, control, and authoritarianism.
Yeah, but but on the other hand, I mean, we the people are here to stay, and we're not going anywhere.
That's right. That's right. We will not go quietly into that good night. We will not give in without a fight. We will fight to live, and we will fight to survive. And to fight something is to do it peaceably, to work peaceably with all, wherever possible. That's what the armor of God does. The helmet of salvation, protecting our minds, the breastplate of righteousness, protecting our hearts, the belt of truth gird around our waist, so that if ever we're hit, in areas spiritually where the adversary would have us to give in, that belt controls protection against that kind of thing. That sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, that's the stuff that keeps us going. The shoes of the preparation of the gospel of peace, and that shield of faith that stops these arrows that fly at us incessantly. So I don't know. What do you guys think about all this? I'm just speaking into the wind.
Well, but I'm just thinking like you were talking earlier about like it seems like they're putting us against each other, and it's like these they call them useful idiots, and it's like it seems like it's a lot of people that they don't even, I guess, common sense is not a virtue. It's like I thought you could learn it, or maybe sometimes people are born with it, but it was almost like during that January thing, Trump said like, okay, they're going to oppose, hold this up for 10 days, review it, and see what's going to happen from there. If these guys would have just did that instead of following the leader, it would have went a totally different way. But they were counting on like sheep following, the leader, and even though you think that we patriots are smarter than that, it was the sheep saying, no, we have to go in, like Epstein says, we have to go into the Capitol. And enough of them went into the Capitol. And then some people said, well, let's while we're inside the Capitol, let's stand in line and sightsee. I'm thinking like that wasn't the day to go sightseeing. I mean, pick another day. But I don't know, it just seemed like there was a lot of naive. And after this one, hopefully there'll be less naive people realizing that the government is there to set you up, and sometimes we got to get out of that bubble of thinking that the government respects us. No, the government doesn't, and we're gonna have to get people in there who do know that it's we the people, and then maybe cut it where they don't have a lifetime pension, make it less attractive to stay wherever, like a Mitch McConnell, where he's zoning out, and who knows what planet this take a shower with my daughter, so-called resident of the White House now, where he's at. So, they keep saying term limit. The best term limit is to vote them out.
What do you think, Joe?
I've been following a guy named by the Will Zoll is his name. He has been writing a series of publications called Prussiagate. And the guy is totally relevant on everything that's happened with Prussia all the way through today. And if you go there, if you read his Substack or whatever, or listen to the audio on P. Gunnels on Rumble, you get a huge understanding. In fact, my sister sent me a thing that Jack Hibbs was presenting, a three-day video series. William Farrell or something like that, Fedora or something like that. But same thing, only a guy that is absolutely learned and a Christian as well. And it's the same story. And it's just an amazing thing to listen to and watch, because America's history has been led down the wrong path for almost 200 years.
Yeah, just as soon as we formed the United States Constitution and it was signed in 1791, somebody was in the woodpile messing around right away. And
it's always been the British cabal. Always
yeah,
been the British
that's right.
cabal. And Prussia was behind part of that as well, because they were funding both the wars, or both sides of the war. There's some interesting stuff in there to educate yourself on American history, real American history.
Yeah, I think that's the main point right here, is to learn our history before it gets to a point where we're unable to get a hold of this information. That's why it's important to talk to folks, to get involved at the local level, because memory holds more power than does, for instance, reading something in a book. There are still some that are alive today that lived what we were talking about. Of course, World War One and before World War One, when dealing with Prussia, there aren't too many folks left, but there might be a few. But certainly there are still some folks that are alive and with it, that went through World War II, went through the Korean War, went through the war in Vietnam, and went through Desert Storm and the Iraq conflict. It's interesting. And what we need to do is I can't stress it enough, get involved at the local level. That's making friends, celebrating
Get in your school boards.
Yeah.
Make sure that you know what your kids are being taught.
That's right.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Hey, since it's the Labor Day, we want to know what you guys have done on Labor Day, and what you got. Oh yeah. That's definitely true. And like that lady that in Colorado Springs, whose son was stopped when they wanted to stop him from having his patch on his backpack, and even the teacher didn't even understand what the patch meant, and the teacher's supposed to be teaching like American history.
Yeah,
You're talking
So,
about that 12-year-old kid.
the flag.
Yeah. And then-
Jay Sekulow is representing that family.
That's interesting. Jay Sekulow picked that up.
Yeah, and the mother went out there, and she had her camera rolling because she wanted the video, and then the boy went out and he took pictures of all the decals on the teachers' cars as they were talking about what they can have. I said, "What about this? What about this?" So they got some good stuff, So we all could be what reporters used to be,
That's right. We need to become our own journalists. We need to actually start writing things down in hard copy so that they cannot be digitally erased or manipulated. We need to peaceably walk in those shoes of the preparation of the gospel of peace. And that starts at the local level. If I can talk to my friend peaceably and I can take my friend to a place where we can talk to other friends, and we can, keep this movement going, then you too will not go quietly into that good night. You too will not give in without a fight.
No.
And, folks, Johnny J has started a school where we help visually impaired and blind folks, as well as otherwise disabled folks, to find their niche. 70% to 90% of the blind and visually impaired community are unemployed. And under Biden's Bidenomics, I guess, for lack of better terminology, there are folks just like myself who are fixing to go homeless. But the idea, half of this is all about attitude and mental preparation. And half of this is where the mindset is. And if the mindset says, I'm going to win, it does not matter what is, standing before me. I'm going to tunnel under the obstacle. I'm going to go over the obstacle. I'm going to go around it. I'm going to, yes. There's got to be that attitude. And that is what made America great in the first place, was a bunch of folks that got together and said, hey, look, we don't want anymore to be ruled by an empire. We want to control our own destiny, and we want to make a constitution that is limiting to our governments and governances. And we want to be in charge of this. And yes, they do, have their place, and they do make legislation. But I believe that they've forgotten over time that this has to be under the consent of the governed. So yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody. It's been fun Labor Day. Love your families, hold them tight. Yeah.
Put a link in the chat for Pressure the first one.
Ooh, that's a good link. I'm gonna copy that. Is there a way you can pin that particular link to the platform, Johnny?
I don't know. Because I could do that.
This audio or video, it's read by a professional reader, Patrick Gunnels. He orates wonderful.
Wow, that's awesome.
His language gets a bit rough sometimes, but
so does mine. Does mine. On a totally humorous note, and I was telling people this, or I was telling Johnny and Hey Joe about this earlier. I got a mouth problem. I speak kind of coarsely, and so I decided to try to get a handle on even that. Got to give up things because it's just not expedient. So part of that is language, and stop using so many of those filler words. And I got onto swearing, and I'm like, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she says, if you want to say a swear word, think of it in the Braille code, the Braille language, and think about saying it very quickly. So Foxtrot, Uniform, Charlie, Kilo would then be translated into 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 6, 1, 4, 1, 3. It really short circuits the need to drop an F-bomb. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
We came back from overseas on the ship. We had a swear jar. We had a big party with that.
I tell you what. Yeah, well, I'm so broke right now. I can't even find a home or pay attention. And I did have to take a $200 reduction in my Social Security disability because I didn't get some mail I needed to get to, quote, what do you call that? What is that? Apply for a certain program, reimbursement. So they shorted me by $200. So I don't even know how I'm going to pay my bills, and I'm going homeless, 1st of October. So keep me in your prayers. Things are going to work out. Thanks for watching and listening in the Univision FM universe. And beyond that, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Hey, I guess we're gonna, call it a night.
Yeah. Happy Labor Day, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're gonna do tomorrow night. I think we're gonna either have an early show or we're going to videotape at the Roxy.
At the
It starts
Roxy?
it starts at 6 p.m. So I may, do this and then, I think it'll take about 30 minutes to get over there, and then probably just probably invite people to come in the Zoom and yeah, and then go from there. But I don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow. I get the Wi-Fi over there and all that kind of stuff, and get it plugged in. But we'll be videotaped. I don't know if because I sort of like to have you there too, Alan. So you can give your wisdom and have you there.
I can
And Joel?
zoom in. It cost me $150 some odd to take a lift from the event
No,
from
no, no,
Denver
no,
on
no, no,
Friday.
no,
So
no,
I
no,
can't do
no,
another.
no, no, no. And hopefully we'll get a grant here pretty soon. I got some out there, so we'll get something in there and cover that. But anyway, join us tomorrow. So we may be a double header, or we may be just doing the one show.
We're gonna have
So-
some fun, folks.
All right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. God willing.
bless.
Okay. All right.
Take care, guys.